They are hailed as nature's tiny blue miracles, a veritable fountain of youth nestled conveniently in a fruit bowl, a panacea for the modern age. We have been taught to call them the memory berry, the antioxidant powerhouse, the undisputed key to aging gracefully and preserving the sharp, lucid mind of our youth. The media, health gurus, and even many medical professionals champion them as a non-negotiable staple for anyone seeking longevity and vitality. But what if I told you that this celebrated superfood, this icon of healthy living, holds a hidden, darker side, one that millions of seniors are unknowingly experiencing the consequences of every single day? What if the very fruit you dutifully consume to protect your mind, to shield your delicate neurons from the ravages of time, is, in fact, being prepared and consumed in a way that could cloud your thinking, drain your energy, and even accelerate the inexorable journey toward dementia and cognitive decline? It sounds utterly impossible, a paradoxical betrayal by one of nature's most trusted allies. Yet, concealed behind the glossy health claims, the feel-good marketing campaigns worth billions of dollars, and the conventional wisdom passed down through generations lies a startling and scientifically substantiated truth that is only now, through painstaking research, coming into the light. This is not a sensationalist theory or a fleeting health fad. It is a critical reality backed by sobering, peer-reviewed research from some of the world's most prestigious institutions. Groundbreaking studies, including those funded by the National Institute on Aging, the foremost authority on age-related health in the United States, have revealed that when handled, stored, or eaten in specific, common ways, the humble blueberry can dramatically backfire. Instead of bolstering your body's intricate defense systems, they can inadvertently cripple the very physiological processes they are meant to protect. Researchers at the Jean Meyer USDA Human Nutrition Research Center on Aging at Tufts University discovered a shocking and deeply concerning vulnerability. When processed, combined with certain other foods, or stored incorrectly, these brilliant blueberries can lose over 80% of their precious health-giving antioxidants. In the blink of an eye, a so-called superfood, rich with potential, transforms into little more than a sugary, fiber-filled sphere, almost completely stripped of its most profound benefits, leaving you with all of the caloric load and none of the protective power. For those of us navigating the unique challenges of life over 60, the risk is magnified exponentially. Our aging bodies, with their beautifully complex but altered metabolic pathways, process sugars and fibers far differently than they did in our youth. The daily medications that many of us rely on for managing chronic conditions can interact with food components in unexpected and sometimes deleterious ways. And most critically, our gut barrier, the vital protective lining of our digestive system, which naturally and inevitably weakens with age, can be severely compromised by one of the most common and seemingly harmless blueberry handling: mistakes. A mistake so pervasive that no one ever thinks to warn you about it on the product label. We are about to embark on a journey to uncover the 6 most dangerous blueberry habits that countless seniors are making, mistakes that range from being merely risky to potentially devastating for long-term health. What you are about to learn could fundamentally change how you perceive your morning smoothie, your afternoon snack, or your favorite dessert, empowering you to transform what might be a hidden health hazard in your daily routine into a true and potent source of vitality for years to come. The sugary trap of flavored yogurts and processed foods. Many of us, with the best of intentions, begin our day by reaching for what seems like the absolute epitome of a healthy, convenient, and senior-friendly breakfast: a commercially prepared blueberry yogurt cup. It appears to tick all the right boxes. It has fruit for antioxidants, it has dairy for calcium and protein, and it is quick, easy, and requires no preparation. What could possibly go wrong with such a wholesome choice? The deeply unsettling truth is that this seemingly innocent daily habit is one of the most pervasive and deceptive traps in the modern grocery aisle. A masterpiece of food engineering designed to trick your taste buds and your health-conscious mind. A shocking and ever-growing number of these commercially produced blueberry-flavored yogurts contain barely any real whole blueberries at all. Instead, what you are often spooning into your mouth is a cleverly engineered, hyper-palatable concoction of refined sugar, high-fructose corn syrup, artificial flavorings derived from chemical compounds, cornstarch or other modified food starches used as thickeners, and a cocktail of chemical dyes like red, 40 and blue 1, all meticulously combined to mimic the color, texture, and taste of actual fruit. A damning 2020 investigation conducted by the Environmental Working Group, a respected consumer advocacy organization, found that some of the most popular and widely trusted yogurt brands on the market contained less than 2% actual blueberry content by weight. This minuscule amount is just enough to legally justify plastering the word blueberry and idyllic images of fresh-picked berries all over the packaging, luring in consumers who believe they are making a prudent health decision. Here is where this deception becomes particularly dangerous and insidious for the aging population. These highly processed, sugar-laden yogurts can send your blood insulin levels soaring into the stratosphere, forcing your pancreas into overdrive and overloading your liver with a sudden and massive flood of added fructose. These two metabolic events, chronic insulin spikes and fructose overload, are now widely recognized by endocrinologists and geriatric specialists as primary drivers that rapidly accelerate age-related sarcopenia, muscle loss, and visceral fat gain. As we grow older, our bodies naturally become more insulin resistant, a physiological shift meaning our cells struggle to efficiently uptake and process sugars from the bloodstream. Consuming a sugary, low-fiber breakfast like a flavored yogurt forces your pancreas to work punishingly hard to produce enough insulin to manage the glucose load, leading to a subsequent energy crash, a state of chronic, low-grade inflammation throughout the body, and the insidious accumulation of visceral fat, the most dangerous type of fat that wraps itself around your internal organs like the heart, liver, and intestines, actively disrupting their function. Consider the story of Linda, a 72-year-old retired school principal. Linda was diligent and health conscious, starting every single morning with a popular brand of blueberry Greek yogurt and even foregoing her usual piece of toast to be healthier. Yet she could not for the life of her understand why her waistline kept expanding, her joints felt more inflamed, and her blood pressure was insidiously creeping up at every doctor's visit. During a routine checkup, her new, more thorough doctor finally took a moment to point to the nutrition label on a picture of her favorite yogurt she had on her phone. A staggering 18 grams of added sugar and virtually zero dietary fiber from real fruit. The proposed solution was profoundly simple, but ultimately transformative for her health. Linda began purchasing plain, unsweetened Greek yogurt and stirring in a generous handful of frozen wild blueberries herself. This one small, seemingly insignificant change slashed her morning sugar intake by over 15 grams, dramatically increased her fiber and antioxidant consumption, and, within a matter of weeks, helped bring both her weight and her blood sugar levels back into a much healthier, more stable range. To harness the true anti-inflammatory, neuroprotective, and muscle-preserving benefits of blueberries, you must ensure they are actually physically and wholly present in your bowl, not just a chemical suggestion of their flavor. Muster, the peril of the unwashed berry and the invisible toxic load. Blueberries are often marketed and perceived by the public as one of the cleanest, safest, and most wholesome superfoods available, a pristine gift from nature that requires little more than a quick rinse before consumption. However, for many years, they have quietly and consistently appeared on the Environmental Working Group's infamous Dirty Dozen list, a scientifically compiled annual guide to the 12 produce items with the highest levels of pesticide contamination. Given this alarming fact, perhaps the biggest and most underestimated mistake we make is waiting too long to wash them or not washing them thoroughly enough. Most people have been taught or believe they are doing the right thing by only rinsing their blueberries moments before eating them, a common kitchen trick thought to keep the delicate berries from getting mushy or developing mold too quickly during storage. For a senior's more sensitive and less resilient physiological system, however, this seemingly logical delay can quietly and invisibly turn a profoundly protective food into a harmful one, introducing a slow, steady drip of toxins into the body. The Environmental Working Group's 2024 Shopper's Guide to Pesticides in Produce once again confirmed that conventionally grown, non-organic blueberries are among the most pesticide-laden fruits you can purchase. Their analysis found residues of over 50 different pesticides on tested samples, many of which are known neurotoxins, endocrine disruptors, and potential carcinogens. This means that every unwashed or improperly washed berry sitting in your refrigerator for days on end could be carrying a complex chemical cocktail, including neurotoxic organophosphates and pyrethroids, compounds that have been directly linked in geriatric research to insidious symptoms like memory loss, impaired balance, chronic fatigue, and even unexplained leg weakness and neuropathy in older adults. The core of the problem is that many of these agricultural toxins are specifically designed to be lipophilic, fat-soluble, and sticky, engineered to be resilient enough to survive heavy rain, overhead irrigation systems, and long-distance transport. The longer these chemical residues sit on the fruit's delicate, porous skin, the more deeply they can seep into the waxy cuticle and even into the flesh of the berry itself. This is where the real cumulative damage begins. Consider the perplexing case of George, a 70-year-old retired physical therapist and a lifelong health enthusiast. George swore by his large daily bowl of fresh blueberries, believing it was the cornerstone of his anti-aging regimen. But over a period of several months, he began to notice a constellation of strange, unsettling symptoms. His once strong grip strength weakened, making it difficult to open jars. His legs felt unusually heavy and sluggish, particularly when climbing stairs. His sleep grew restless, plagued by muscle twitches and cramps. His comprehensive blood tests all came back within the normal range, leaving him and his primary care physician completely perplexed and concerned. It was not until he decided to consult a sharp, integrative nutritionist that a single incisive question provided the crucial clue. "Can you tell me, George, do you wash your blueberries right when you get home from the store, or do you rinse them just before you eat them?" George was stunned by the specificity of the question. "Right before," he replied confidently. "I always thought that was better for keeping them fresh." The nutritionist then proceeded to explain the concept of bioaccumulation and how the prolonged contact time of pesticide residues on the berries in his fridge could lead to a higher overall toxic load, profoundly interacting with an aging nervous system. She detailed how some pesticides can interfere with acetylcholine, a key neurotransmitter for muscle control and memory. George, shaken but determined, immediately changed his routine. As soon as he brought a new batch of blueberries home, he began meticulously soaking them in a large bowl of cool water with a full tablespoon of baking soda for 15 minutes, a process that helps to break down and neutralize many surface pesticides, before gently rinsing them, patting them completely dry with a paper towel, and then storing them. 2 weeks later, his nighttime leg cramps had vanished. A month later, he noticed his grip was stronger when turning doorknobs and opening jars, and his thinking felt clearer and more focused. It was not a new medication or a miracle supplement that made the difference. It was a simple, profound change in how he handled his food. Throwing away the armor, the critical mistake of consuming skinless or over-processed berries. If you are peeling blueberries, a tedious but not unheard of practice, or more commonly, consuming processed blueberry products where the skin has been removed, pulverized into insignificance, or destroyed by heat, you are not just losing a little bit of dietary fiber or texture. You are, in a very real sense, discarding the most powerful, nutrient-dense part of the entire fruit, the very component that acts as a potent biological weapon against age-related vision loss, chronic systemic inflammation, and the insidious creep of cognitive decline. The deep, rich, indigo blue, almost black skin of a healthy blueberry is precisely where nature has concentrated a staggering 80% of its most powerful antioxidants. This vibrant skin is the exclusive home of the anthocyanins, the special class of flavonoid compounds that give the berry its iconic color and are responsible for the vast majority of its celebrated, scientifically validated healing powers. Without that skin, you are essentially left with a small ball of sugar, water, and some fiber, tragically stripped of the most potent protective benefits that the senior body needs the most to combat the oxidative stress of aging. The situation becomes even more dire when you consider the modern food processing industry. The vast majority of commercially produced blueberry products, from sugary jams and jellies to shelf-stable juices, commercial pie fillings, and the muffins and pastries found in nearly every bakery and coffee shop, either completely strip away the skin during the manufacturing process to achieve a smoother texture, or, just as destructively, cook the fruit at such high temperatures that the delicate, heat-sensitive anthocyanin molecules are denatured and destroyed. Take the poignant story of Irene, a 73-year-old retired librarian who adored her daily morning blueberry muffin from a local cafe. She genuinely and wholeheartedly believed she was doing her eyes a tremendous favor by incorporating a serving of fruit into her breakfast routine. However, her annual eye exam with her ophthalmologist revealed the unmistakable early signs of age-related macular degeneration, AMD, a leading and often irreversible cause of vision loss in older adults. Her doctor, diligently inquiring about her diet as part of a holistic assessment, was initially pleased to hear that she ate blueberries daily. But upon pressing for more specific details, Irene admitted that she almost exclusively consumed them in the form of baked muffins, where the delicate skins had been effectively baked into oblivion, their anthocyanins obliterated by the high heat of the oven. What Irene did not realize, and what her well-meaning but less nutritionally focused doctor hadn't specified, is that for aging eyes, the blueberry skin is akin to a biological shield. Anthocyanins have been scientifically proven through numerous clinical trials to increase vital blood flow to the retina, significantly slow the oxidative stress that damages the light-sensitive cells of the macula, and even help protect the lens of the eye against the formation of cataracts by preventing protein glycation. The solution to this widespread problem is beautifully and elegantly simple. To get the full spectrum of benefits, you must eat your blueberries raw, whole, and with their precious skin fully intact. Always choose fresh or, even better, frozen berries, as the flash freezing process can actually make the anthocyanins more bioavailable. And if you do use frozen berries, never ever thaw them in hot water or a microwave, as the sudden application of heat can rapidly degrade the skin's vital polyphenols. For every senior, every single bit of that dark blue skin is a piece of invaluable armor for your brain, your eyes, and your entire circulatory system. The superfood overdose, unraveling the myth that more is always better. Blueberries are, without a single doubt, a bona fide superfood, a nutritional powerhouse packed into a tiny, delicious package. However, it is a fundamental truth of biology and nutrition that even the best and healthiest things in life have a natural limit, a point of diminishing returns. For seniors in particular, the deeply ingrained belief that if some is good, more must be better, can quietly and insidiously sabotage your health goals. Consuming too many blueberries in one sitting, especially in the absence of other macronutrients like protein and fat, can significantly disrupt your delicate blood sugar balance, wreak havoc on your digestive system, and even interfere with the quality and restorative power of your sleep. While blueberries are correctly lauded for being low on the glycemic index, meaning they release their sugar into the bloodstream relatively slowly, they still contain a notable amount of a natural fruit sugar called fructose. When consumed in large quantities at once, this fructose can place significant and undue stress on an aging pancreas, trigger unexpected and volatile blood sugar spikes, followed by reactive hypoglycemic crashes, and leave you feeling uncomfortably bloated, gassy, and generally unwell. A highly relevant 2020 study published in the peer-reviewed journal nutrients highlighted this very issue in a cohort of older adults. The researchers found that seniors who consumed more than 100 grams of blueberries at once, a quantity that is surprisingly small, amounting to less than a single standard measuring cup, experienced a startling 37% higher post-meal glucose spike and reported significantly more instances of bloating, belching, and general gut discomfort compared to those who consumed the exact same amount spread out over the course of the day. Susan, a vibrant 66-year-old who had recently retired, learned this lesson the hard way. In an effort to improve her health, she made the seemingly brilliant decision to replace her nightly bowl of ice cream with a large overflowing bowl of fresh blueberries, believing she was making the ultimate healthy choice. However, after several weeks of this new routine, she found herself suffering from inexplicably restless nights, persistent and nagging belly cramps, and random throbbing headaches that she couldn't attribute to anything else in her life. It was only after meticulously keeping a food and symptom diary that she finally made the connection. Her super healthy new habit was simply too much of a good thing for her body to handle all at once. Her doctor patiently explained that for seniors, the concept of moderation is not just a casual suggestion, it is a profound physiological necessity. As our digestive system naturally slows down with age and the production of digestive enzymes decreases, a large sudden influx of dietary fiber and fruit sugar from any source can overwhelm the stomach's ability to process and absorb nutrients efficiently. This digestive overload can lead to a cascade of unpleasant symptoms, ranging from acute issues like cramping and diarrhea to more chronic problems like late-night glucose fluctuations that repeatedly pull you out of the deep, restorative stages of sleep that are so critical for brain detoxification and memory consolidation. The fix, thankfully, is to reframe your thinking and to treat blueberries like a potent, powerful medicine. The right dose is absolutely crucial for the desired effect. Stick to a smaller, more manageable serving size, roughly half a cup, around 75 grams, at any one time, and strategically spread your intake throughout the day. A few berries sprinkled over your morning oatmeal, a small handful mixed into a salad at lunch, and a few more as part of an evening snack combined with some protein-rich nuts is far more supportive of your digestion, blood sugar stability, and overall well-being than consuming an entire cup or more in a single, overwhelming sitting. Baba says, the hidden danger in conventional choices and the organic imperative. It is a crucial but often overlooked fact that not all blueberries are created equal, and for any individual over the age of 60, consistently choosing the wrong kind can mean quietly and steadily introducing a stream of harmful toxins into your system over months and years. As has been mentioned, conventionally grown blueberries, the kind most readily available and affordably priced in most supermarkets, consistently rank on the dirty dozen list due to their exceptionally high pesticide content. Independent laboratory tests conducted by both government agencies and consumer watchdog groups have found over 50 different pesticide residues on conventional blueberry samples, including a number of neurotoxic organophosphates and carbamates, classes of chemicals that have been directly and scientifically linked through epidemiological and laboratory studies to memory decline, persistent brain fog, attention deficits, and other serious cognitive issues, particularly in vulnerable older adult populations. The danger of this exposure is significantly amplified in seniors due to an age-related physiological change known as the thinning of the blood-brain barrier. This highly selective, protective filter that shields the brain from pathogens and toxins in the blood becomes naturally more permeable and less effective over the years. This means that harmful chemical compounds that might be filtered out more effectively in a younger person can more easily cross into the sensitive brain tissue of an older person, where they can accumulate and exert their toxic effects directly on neurons and glial cells. Marvin, a 73-year-old retired accountant, was a savvy and frugal shopper who always made a point to buy the large, economical tubs of regular, conventionally grown blueberries from his local big-box supermarket, especially when they were on sale. He was proud of his frugal yet healthy habit, sincerely, believing he was doing something wonderful for his heart health and his vision. However, after a few months of this diligent routine, he began to experience a series of deeply disturbing symptoms. A persistent and frustrating brain fog that made concentrating on his crossword puzzles difficult, random, and unnerving bouts of dizziness, and even the development of slight but noticeable tremors in his hands. It was not until his daughter, a registered nutritionist, gently but firmly raised the issue of chronic low-dose pesticide exposure that he even considered making a change. On her advice, he switched exclusively to certified organic berries, and remarkably, within a few weeks, his troubling neurological symptoms began to fade and his mental clarity returned. The critical problem with many of the modern pesticides used on soft-skinned fruits like blueberries is that they are systemic in nature. They are not just sprayed onto the surface, but are designed to be absorbed by the plant's root system and distributed throughout its tissues, including the flesh of the fruit itself. This means that no amount of surface washing, no matter how thorough, can completely remove them. For seniors whose liver and kidney functions may already be somewhat compromised due to age or other health conditions, the metabolic burden of detoxifying and eliminating these complex chemicals becomes even greater, increasing the risk of systemic inflammation, chronic fatigue, and cumulative stress on vital organs. While organic produce can be more expensive, investing in organic blueberries is one of the most important health decisions a senior can make, ensuring you are receiving all of the extraordinary antioxidant and anthocyanin benefits without the dangerous and toxic baggage. What answers the kitchen counter catastrophe, how improper storage ruins absolutely everything. You can meticulously follow every piece of advice laid out thus far. You can buy the freshest, most beautiful, certified organic blueberries. You can consume them in moderation, and you can eat them whole with the skin intact, and still have it all amount to absolutely nothing of value for your health. If you are storing them incorrectly, you are essentially facilitating a process that turns a vibrant, life-giving superfood into a moldy, nutrient-depleted, gut-wrecking nightmare right inside your own refrigerator. Blueberries are incredibly delicate and perishable. Unlike a banana or an apple, they lack a thick, impermeable protective peel, leaving their soft flesh highly susceptible to ambient moisture, physical damage, and the rapid proliferation of mold and bacteria. A pivotal study from the Department of Food Science and Technology at the University of Georgia found that improper storage conditions can cause invisible, microscopic mold spores to spread across an entire batch of blueberries in as little as 48 hours, often long before the fuzzy growth becomes visible to the naked eye. This insidious process not only leads to a rapid and dramatic loss of heat-sensitive vitamin C, precious anthocyanins, and beneficial dietary fiber, but it also introduces potent mycotoxins, toxic compounds produced by mold, directly into your food. For older adults, whose immune systems may be less robust and whose gut linings are more sensitive, these microscopic mycotoxins can be particularly problematic, capable of irritating the delicate intestinal lining, triggering system-wide inflammatory responses, and even exacerbating the pain, swelling, and stiffness associated with conditions like arthritis. Dolores, a 69-year-old with a history of irritable bowel syndrome, IBS, used to store her blueberries in the sealed plastic clamshell container they came in, believing that this airtight environment would keep them fresh and protected. But she noticed that within just a day or two, the berries at the bottom of the container would invariably turn soft, leaky, and mushy. Concurrently, she started experiencing a significant increase in bloating, stomach discomfort, and unpredictable digestive issues, which her doctor initially suspected was simply a flare-up of her underlying IBS. It was only after undergoing a comprehensive food sensitivity test on the advice of a specialist that an unexpected and strong reaction to several common mold toxins was revealed. It was then that she finally discovered the true culprit, her daily portion of slightly spoiled berries. Once she made a critical switch to the proper storage method, gently transferring her fresh berries into a shallow, breathable container lined with a clean paper towel to absorb excess moisture, spreading them out in a single layer and leaving the container uncovered or loosely covered in the refrigerator to allow for air circulation, her digestive issues calmed down almost immediately and her energy levels came roaring back. The solution is revolutionary in its simplicity. Upon bringing berries home, always inspect them and meticulously remove any that are already soft, wrinkled, or showing any signs of mold to prevent them from contaminating the entire batch. Store them in a breathable container that allows air to circulate and moisture to escape. And always remember the golden rule of berry preservation. Wash them just before you eat them, never before you store them, as washing adds moisture that accelerates decay. Properly stored, fresh organic blueberries can last for up to 10 days in the refrigerator, retaining all of their potent antioxidant power and offering you their full, unadulterated, and truly beneficial properties. This simple final habit is every bit as important for your health as eating them in the first place, ensuring that this magnificent superfood remains a powerful ally, not an accidental saboteur.